What makes a game truly memorable? It's not just the stunning graphics or captivating gameplay. It's the stories and characters that make us feel, empathize, and become a part of their world. Today, I'll tell you about 20 games where you don't just play. You literally live their stories. And as we go on, you'll see more and more emotional games. So, enjoy the video. Beyond Two Souls. This isn't just a game. It's an incredible emotional journey. You play as Jodie Holmes, a girl connected to a mysterious entity named Aiden. From childhood, Jodie faces misunderstanding, loneliness, and fears that complicate her life. But it's not just a story about supernatural abilities, it's a story about self-discovery. The game masterfully conveys complex emotions through non-linear storytelling, showcasing the most important moments of her life. From childhood fears to deep internal conflicts of adulthood, every choice has consequences, and each scene is filled with drama that makes you ponder fate and loneliness. Little Nightmares 2 takes you through a world where every corner is filled with fear and uncertainty. The main character faces terrifying creatures, and despite his small size, he must survive in this grim world. The game doesn't give you typical explanations, and that's what makes every action even more unsettling. Every encounter with danger doesn't just scare you, it makes you wonder what lies behind these eerie images. Little Nightmares 2 isn't just about passing levels, it's about the constant threat that you can't escape. You don't just play, you feel the tension the protagonist experiences. Shadow of the Colossus isn't just a game, it's an epic story where each battle evokes strong emotions. You face off one-on-one against gigantic colossi in a desolate world. But with each victory comes the realization that these creatures aren't enemies, but part of something greater. The silence and emptiness of the world intensify the feeling of loneliness, and each victory raises more questions than answers. There are no villains or heroes in the usual sense. You decide what it means to be right. Shadow of the Colossus doesn't just entertain. It makes you think about the price of victory and how far you're willing to go for your goal. Every step in this world reminds you that sometimes, victory can be the heaviest loss. Oh, and the ending, guys, it's something else. But I won't spoil it. Have you played this game? How did you feel about the ending? Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater is more than just a spy story. At its core are questions of loyalty, moral duty, and the lines the hero is forced to cross. You control Snake, but your character's actions aren't just about following orders. They're a series of difficult decisions that can change the course of events. You'll face intense missions in the jungle, where enemies aren't always what they seem. This game not only gets your adrenaline pumping, but also makes you think about how often one can justify their actions in the name of duty to their country. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater isn't just an action game. It's a story where your choices determine who you'll become by the end. What Remains of Edith Finch is a game that explores life and death through the lens of one family's story. Every room in the Finch house is a chapter in their tragic fate, and each of these chapters astounds with its depth. The game skillfully blends reality and fantasy, immersing you in the memories of the house's inhabitants whose lives were cut short. What Remains of Edith Finch doesn't just make you follow events. It makes you reflect on the meaning of memory and how the past shapes our future. It's a game about how we process loss and how even the briefest moments in life can be filled with meaning. Spec Ops. The Line isn't just a military shooter. It's a psychological test that plunges you into the depths of human morality. You play as Captain Walker, who along with his team is sent to a devastated Dubai for what seems like a simple mission. However, as the story unfolds, plot twists make you rethink everything you knew about war and yourself. Every choice, every battle has consequences, and with each step, the world around you becomes darker. This game makes you think about how far you can go while trying to maintain your humanity. You don't just play, you feel the weight of responsibility for every decision made. Max Payne 2 continues the story of a man consumed by the darkness of his past. Max Payne continues his endless battle with inner demons and attempts to find justice in a world where it no longer exists. The game doesn't just offer thrilling slow-motion shootouts, It provides a deep dive into the psyche of the main character, who is trying to cope with loss and guilt. Every step Max takes isn't just a move forward, it's a descent into even greater chaos. Max Payne 2 is a story where every bullet carries weight, and every shot is an attempt to escape a world that has long since crumbled. Though the game is old, it's legendary. I recommend starting with the first part if you want to relive the good old days of Max. By the way, you can even play the first part on your phone. Let me know in the comments how many times you've completed the first Max Payne. I've done it about 5 times. To the Moon is a small but powerful game that plunges you into a story about dreams, regrets, and fulfilling a dying wish. The main characters travel through the memories of a dying man to fulfill his dream. Your task is to unravel his past and understand why this dream is so important. Each memory holds a piece of his soul, and with each new scene, you realize how fragile human life is. To the Moon is a game that makes you think about the meaning of life, about what's important in the end, and how our dreams shape our future. The Walking Dead by Telltale Games is an interactive drama where every decision you make has significant consequences. You play as Lee, a man caught in the midst of a zombie apocalypse. But the real struggle isn't with the Walking Dead, it's with internal dilemmas. Your bond with a little girl, Clementine, becomes the heart of this story, and every decision you make affects her fate. The Walking Dead is a game where every interaction with other characters makes you think about what it means to be human in a world where humanity is almost gone. Here, you don't just play. You feel every loss, every mistake, every glimmer of hope. Final Fantasy VII isn't just an iconic Japanese RPG. It's an epic saga that touches every player. The story intertwines personal tragedies with global threats, allowing you to deeply empathize with each character. The protagonist, Cloudstrife, faces internal conflicts and questions about his place in the world, and moments of loss and difficult decisions leave emotional scars. Honestly, when a certain event happened in this game, it left a profound emotional impact on me. But I won't spoil it. This game not only opens up a fantastical world for you, but also makes you experience each event as if it were happening in real life. Heavy Rain is a thriller where the fates of several characters intertwine in the investigation of a serial killer. Each of them faces their own inner fears and moral dilemmas as they try to save their loved ones or find answers to the questions haunting them. The game masterfully handles tension, where every action can change the outcome of events. It's not just your decisions that matter, your feelings do too, as Heavy Rain touches on themes of loss, fear, and sacrifice. The game makes you empathize with each character, and even when you act, you're left wondering if you made the right choice. It can be completed in a day, but trust me, the plot will blow your mind into a million tiny atoms. And if you've played it, share in the comments how the game made you feel. Nier Automata is a philosophical odyssey that makes you reflect on the nature of life, consciousness, and the meaning of existence. You control androids 2B and 9S, fighting mechanical enemies in a post-apocalyptic world. But beneath this lies a much deeper story. The game raises questions about what it means to be alive, our place in the world, and whether machines are capable of feeling. Every scene, every battle is filled with philosophical reflections, and the further you go, the more you realize that this isn't just a game. It's a meditation on the fate of humanity and its creations. It's a very powerful story, especially the ending, so I highly recommend it. Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons is the story of two brothers embarking on an epic journey to save their sick father. The game combines a unique mechanic where you control both characters simultaneously, enhancing their bond and making you feel their unity. It's not just an adventure story. It's an emotional tale of family, loss, and mutual support. Every step, every choice the brothers make draws you deeper into their pain and hope. The game literally breaks your heart with its dramatic ending, leaving an indelible mark on your soul. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is an epic adventure where every decision you make affects the fate of countless people. You play as Geralt of Rivia, who is searching for his adopted daughter in a world where every choice has consequences. The game is not only filled with thrilling battles and an open world, but also deep moral dilemmas that make you reflect on the nature of good and evil. The Witcher 3 is a game you dive into headfirst, feeling every emotion and taking on responsibility for the fates of others. It's not just an RPG, it's an emotional journey that won't leave you indifferent. How I wish I could spoil the ending and tell you what feelings it stirred in me, but I won't, just in case some of you haven't completed this masterpiece yet. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a story about survival and moral dilemmas at the end of the Wild West era. You play as Arthur Morgan, a member of a gang trying to maintain his humanity in a world where law and order are falling apart. This game doesn't just offer a massive open world, it makes you feel the weight of every decision. Arthur faces questions of loyalty, honor, and sacrifice, and every action you take influences the story. Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't just a story about the Wild West, it's a game about what it means to be human in a world that's falling apart. It's somewhat similar to today when the world seems to be in chaos. God of War 2018 is an incredible story about growing up and fatherhood set against the backdrop of a mythical world. You play as Kratos, who embarks on a dangerous journey with his son, Atreus. This game is not just an epic adventure, but also an emotional story about family, loss, and the search for redemption. Kratos, who was once the embodiment of rage, is now revealed as a caring but strict father, trying to teach his son how to live in a harsh world. Every scene is filled with deep emotions, and you feel the weight of their relationship as Kratos confronts his inner demons and tries to become a better father. And when you finally learn Atreus' real name at the end, it's mind-blowing. I've tested it on myself. Life is Strange is an emotional adventure that makes you think about choice and its consequences. You play as Max Caulfield, a girl who discovers the ability to rewind time. She uses it to try to save her friend Chloe and deal with complex relationships around her. The game immerses you in a world of teenage experiences, friendship, and loss, and every decision you make shapes the story. Life is Strange doesn't just tell a story. It makes you think about how our actions affect others. The ending leaves a lasting emotional impact, making you ponder the meaning of friendship and sacrifice. It's a game that stays with you for a long time. Mass Effect 2 isn't just a space opera. It's a game where every mission and every interaction with your crew leaves a deep emotional impact. You gather a team for a suicide mission, and every member of your crew has their own unique motivations, fears, and hopes. But it's your decisions and actions that shape their fates. Your connection with them becomes so strong that each loss is felt on a personal level. Mass Effect 2 is a game about choice. How far you're willing to go to save the galaxy and those you care about. You don't just command a spaceship, you live each moment, each decision as your own. And believe me, the consequences of your choices will haunt your dreams for a long time. The Last of Us is an emotional journey that touches the deepest parts of your soul. The game tells the story of a harsh world where humanity teeters on the edge of survival. You follow Joel and Ellie through ruined cities and brutal struggles for survival, where every decision matters. The game doesn't just show the horrors of a post-apocalyptic world, it makes you think about how far we're willing to go for the ones we love. It's a story about love, loss, and trying to hold on to the last remnants of humanity in a world that no longer forgives. I won't spoil the ending, but it was incredibly powerful, just as strong as the beginning of the second part, after which I began to hate the writers of the series. But that's a story for another day. Days Gone isn't just about the zombie apocalypse. It's a survival story that reaches deep into your soul. You play as Deacon St. John, a biker who has lost everything that once mattered. The world is falling apart, and every day is a struggle not only against hordes of freakers, but also against your inner demons. The game offers not just dynamic gameplay, but an emotional journey, where every action and every encounter reminds you that, despite all the chaos, hope still lives. Days Gone makes you feel the loneliness and the importance of not losing touch with those you love. And what happened halfway through the game tore me apart. I won't spoil it, but for me, this is the most emotional game in the world. What game has been the most emotional for you? Share in the comments.